All right. Hello, all. Braeden Miguel here, and laying down patiently is Ola. We'll see how long that lasts. She's being a good girl so far, and then she's gonna eat. Um, yeah. So I'm training her to be more chill up here. Um, and also in charge of watching her for family. But I'm also wanting to make content and have a few things that have been on my mind to make lately. Uh, a lot of that is in the works, is being cooked up in the political activism space, in the Colorado news space, and doing some cool things with like entrepreneurship and social enterprise. So stay tuned for that. This is more of a fun informational piece of content because um, I've owned this sweater for a few years now. It was a goodwill purchase, but about 8 months ago, 12 months ago, I was like, I don't want to wear it again until like I don't know much about the history of Brooklyn and that area. So it feels strange to rep Brooklyn but not have this like connection or stride with it. Um, and being able to be more knowledgeable about it. So, yeah, lay down, girl. You have to wait, and then we'll have dinner. Okay? You want to lay down on the couch? You have to wait. Um, um, so I, I mean, I may have broken that rule like one or two times because it's a comfy hoodie, but it hasn't felt right since, and I want to get this off my like plate and start wearing it more and better know some of the history of Brooklyn. So we're gonna put a little bit of a time cap on here, but let's get like 10 major and cool things down for the city of Brooklyn in New York. We can run through what I know about it. It is typically seen as like a cultural hub of different colored and ethnic like groups within the New York City area. Um, it, New York has its own very lengthy history, um, and Brooklyn is an area of it. I believe like AOC is the government rep, the House body rep for Brooklyn, and not much else goes back. So let's do some research really quick. Let's fact check some of our things. You can lay down. You have to wait. Let's fill it up with some cool things. Ooh, cool, cool things. Brooklyn. Um, Wikipedia, the borough of New York City. Da 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 da. What else comes up? Plan a trip to Brooklyn. Brooklyn Bridge Park. Um, Brooklyn biggest historic moments. Um, let's go. Brooklyn's um, government uh, officials. Um, mm, 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 mm. represents Brooklyn? Brooklyn. I think the answer to this is AOC. Dun, 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 dun. New York's 9th congressional district. Okay. United States has a rep. All right, we'll start with Brooklyn. Borough of New York City, coextensive with Kings County, New York. It is the most populous county in the state of New York and the second most densely populated county in the United States, behind New York County, Manhattan. Also New York's most populous borough. If Brooklyn were an independent city, it would be the third most populous in the U.S. So, after the rest of New York City and Los Angeles and ahead of Chicago. That is interesting. I didn't know so many people lived in this area. I mean, that would make sense with how New York is set up. And also, like, the culture that comes from the area. There's lots of people there. There's lots of different things happening. Back to Brooklyn. Named after the Dutch town of Breukelen. Brooklyn is located on the westernmost edge of Long Island and shares a border with the borough of Queens. Okay. It has several bridge and tunnel connections to the borough of Manhattan across the East River and is connected to Staten Island by way of a bridge. It is only land area of 70.8 square miles. Force. Okay. It's small. But it's not too small. What area? I like geographical facts. We'll add that into our Brooklyn document. Brooklyn. What is the name? I am Dutch, isn't that weird? That's why I clicked on this. Municipality in Netherlands, in the province of Utrecht, is situated to the northwest and close to the lakes of that. If the borough built their mansions along the river, it's a bougie place. It's a. Where'd you get that? Well, it's from Dutch. In the disaster year, Brooklyn were severely damaged by warfare. Most of them were burned down by the French. Come on. It's no longer Brooklyn. Okay, interesting. Here, this is the part. Growing to busy port city by 19th century. After long campaign, public ranch during the 1890s in accordance with it annexed New York City. These are ethnic enclaves having a larger Jewish population than Jerusalem. The borough has been described as the most Jewish spot on earth, with Jews forming around a quarter of its population. Official motto displayed on the borough seal and flag is Eendracht macht, which translates from early modern Dutch as unity makes strength. That is beautiful. The weird thing is Dutch are known as traders, but back then they did a lot of slave trading. So it's always, I mean, many countries were doing that imperialistic, that like, you got the itches? The imperialistic, like, greed, I don't know how to put it into one thing, colonialism, like, attitude. But I think this is beautiful. So this part, cool. So we got the history of its situation. Experience the Renaissance as a destination for hipsters. Hola. Leave it. You can sit like that. That's cute. hissers with a concomitant gentrification dramatic prices. France, some events required to include affordable housing units. 2010s, evolved into a hub of entrepreneurship, high technology startup firms, postmodern art and design. Sure, I'm sure that goes back further than that. Bada bada bing. So history section. Thank you, Wikipedia. What else do I think I'm missing? Colonial era. Give me the dirty history. You don't want that? Can you wait? Do you want one more treat? Go lay down. Okay, we'll have to come back. I'm gonna go let her out and have her chill somewhere else, but she did decently well. It's a little toasty. BRB. Alright, 3 are back. The puppo is fed. I am fed. Let's get back to it. I took off the sweater. I was moving around too much, but let's not end this exploration. We were at the history. And about its settlement. New Netherland. Village. Okay, President Braeden left Dutch hands after the English captured the New Netherland colony, a prelude to the Second Anglo-Dutch War, 1664. Taking a naval action. Duke of York. 12 counties. So it was brought together by the English. County initially came to have one of the highest percentage of slaves among the population in the original 13 colonies along the coast. Yeah, that's what the Dutch mostly traded in. Maybe not mostly, but they were big. The first major engagement fought in the American Revolutionary War after independence was declared, in the largest entire conflict. From atop a hill near the west end of President Avenue. It was Atlantic Avenue. Was reported to having emotionally exclaimed, "What brave men I must this day lose." That's sad. Evacuated. Tactical withdrawal in a single night, and now by seen as historians is one of the most brilliant triumphs. So, yeah, as American as it can get when it comes to the Revolutionary War part, because it was where the initial conflict was happening. Prison ships, the conflict. Intelligence network. Okay, urbanization. East River Shore, valuable. Facing the adolescent city of New York. Let's see. To the east. Okay. So this island area here. steam ferry service. Cute. Um, um, Brooklyn Eagles, public highest circulation afternoon paper in America. Agitation against Southern slavery was stronger in Brooklyn than in New York. Under Republican leadership, the city was fervent, and the Union was. Oh yeah, because the parties used to be switched. The Republicans back in the day were anti-slave, and the Democrats were pro-slave. And at one point, they flipped. City was fervent in the Union because of the Civil War. After the war, the Henry Ward Beecher Monument was built downtown. The famous local abolitionist. What was the when the number of people living in Brooklyn grew rapidly in the 19th century. There was 4,500 by 1810. Then it doubles every 10 years. Then it doubles in 10 years. Then in 5 years, surprisingly 12 men in the day shift, another 12 in the night shift. Every time a rash of burglary broke out, officials blamed burglars from New York City. Okay. Twin City. Berlin's after is a twin city of New York in the 1883 poem The New Colossus by Emma Lazarus, which appears on a plaque inside the Statue of Liberty. The poem calls New York Harbor the air-bridged harbor that twin cities frame. As a twin city to New York, it played a role in the national affairs that was later overshadowed by decades of subordination by its old partner and rival. But during this period, the affluent continuous districts of Fort Greene, yada yada yada. Economic growth continued, propelled by immigration and industrialization. Third most populous American city. Piers and factories, industrial access, so it industrializes, and waterworks, reservoirs. Okay. Given New York City rose a crossroads for immigration, evolved globally cosmopolitan ambience of its own. With respect to metrics include nationality, religion, and domiciliary partnership. Okay. In 2020, 51% are religious congregations. It is a melting pot through and through. Looking for a site for artists and hipsters. Brooklyn population close to 3 million. The world's first museum dedicated to children. Okay. Go kids. Opera House. Ethnic press. Economy. High tech. Economy. Parks and other attraction. Botanic Garden. Coney Island. Okay, so Coney Island is near or in Brooklyn? Okay. Municipal airport, cemetery, museum, sports, chillin'. As his sisters by the Bronx, Brooklyn has not voted for Republican national president elections since Calvin Coolidge. In the 2008 presidents received Barack Obama. 2020, 4 Democrats and Republicans represent Brooklyn in one House of Representatives. One congressional district lies entirely within the borough. So it's Nydia Velasquez, Democrat from New York, Congressional Hispanic Caucus, Hakeem Jeffries, House Minority Leader, is in his 6th House term. Yvette Clark, Serena Houston's a member of the Democratic Party, been there since 2007. Gerald Nadler, who since 2020 has served as a U.S. representative from New York's 12th Congressional, includes Manhattan, and Nicole Malatokis, since 2021. Okay. Yada yada. Colleges? Any big one? Brooklyn College. First public coeducational liberal arts college in New York City. Top 10 nationally for the 2nd consecutive year in Princeton's review. 2006. Many of its students are first and second generation Americans. That makes sense. New York City. Okay. Brooklyn Public Library. This guy's own library system. 50% of all Brooklyns were households without automobiles. Brooklyn features an extensive public transit. 19 New York City subways, including the Franklin Avenue Shuttle, traverse through the borough. It's constantly using the subway, despite the fact that some neighborhoods are poorly served by subway service. Major stations out of 170. Okay, we're gonna copy this into our document. It's got some public transpo. Modern era 8. Modern era times. And then we'll go, there we go. And then we're gonna put some context, the background, modern era times, and then like history. It goes Dutch settlement. It goes English settlement through war. It then is American Revolution. American Revolution, which is another war, and then it goes industrial era, boom, into modern financial tech artist hipster place. But industrial era, boom, it goes new American migrant boom, growth, and then it goes modern financial tech artist hipster place. And it's arbitrary place of nearly 3 million people, which is the craziest part about it. Modern era times, we got some transit. I just learned this recently that the Majority Report with Sam Cedar, that show's coming. Show comes from Brooklyn, based in Brooklyn. Online news. We learned about their Congress people, history. Poetry. New Clause is a sonnet by American poet Emma Lazarus. She wrote the poem in 1883 to raise money for construction of a pedestal for the Statue of Liberty. In 1903, the poem was cast along a bronze plaque and mounted inside the pedestal's lower level. And she was from Brooklyn, or no? In her poem, she references the Twin Cities, which includes Brooklyn. Do they have the writing text? Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame, with conquering limbs astride from land to land. Here at our sea-washed sunset gates shall stand a mighty woman with a torch, whose flame is the imprisoned lightning, and her name Mother of Exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome, her mild eyes command the air-bridged harbor that Twin Cities frame. Keep ancient lands, your storied pomp, cries she, with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest toast to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. Oh, okay. That where did that part of America go? We're so scared of letting people in nowadays. Poem about that references Brooklyn as Twin Cities and is also just chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. I'm just gonna type chef's kiss. Chefs and is also just. I'll put amazing. Cool. Brooklyn, you listen here. Brooklyn. New York City. Okay. Brooklyn, Queens, the borough of New York City. Different area. What else? What do you have for us? BrooklynBridgePark.org. What's going on? Event updates. Temporary. Hit me with those events. No? Places to see. How about that? I mean, it's a pretty city. Main Street. So they got cool parks. I mean, that makes sense. Okay. Let me get Brooklyn's biggest historic moments. Brooklyn history. Brooklyn biggest cultural moments. The best Brooklyn cultural events. Annual events top 10 Brooklyn pop culture. Brooklyn biggest cultural leaders in Brooklyn culture. What up? Brooklyn Arts Council. Okay. So notable events. We'll start here. And I kind of want to skip over some of the 1800s and get to the 1900s. Sugar refinery, yada yada. Soldiers. Enclave, yeah, okay. High of 2.6 So the highest is 1950s, high of 2.7 million people. Then it does a little bit of wobblies, railway. Film industry. Okay, that doesn't tell me too much. The 100 most influential people. Can I get this article? The Brooklyn Mag. I'm okay. Thank you. 100 most interesting people in Brooklyn culture. Katie Clark. Formerly president of Orchestra BAM, Brooklyn Academy of Music. Sure. I'm seeing if I know any of these people that hit the wider eye. President of Brick, label manager of 4AD. National Grimes, Future Islands, has his own label, director of Brooklyn Museum, booker, promoter, editors of N1 Plus. How funny would it be if they like, as like the top 5, they had like someone of their own magazine. New exceptional writing skills. Okay. Atarak. Don't know him. I'll probably look through more later. I was just trying to get a nice bit of content and background to the scene. Poets, culture editor, fights HBO. Okay. Know what I like? Okay. Biggest cultural Brooklyn's cultural moments for US. Okay, well, that's not what I was wanting. Biggest Brooklyn artists over time. Okay, so Jay-Z, Biggie, GZA, and Mos Def. Indie band Grizzly Bear, rock legends Lou Reed, and Neil Diamond all come from here. Top 15 best Brooklyn rappers of all time. I want to learn more, about the like some of these deep roots and its connection to hip hop and rap. Birthplace of Mos Def, Lil Kim, the rival to Queens in the Bronx, this great hip hop borough. It's in the greatest influential artists. Whether we're talking about the old school pioneers who laid the foundations, or the new generation of rappers making waves this past decade, Brooklyn has consistently proved itself to be ground for some of the best rappers in the game today. And some of the names right there: Jeru the Damaja, OC, Buckshot, Lil Kin, Sean Price, Guru, Fabulous, AZ. I don't know some of these. Masta Ace, Mos Def, Big Daddy Kane, Notorious B.I.G., Jay-Z. Okay. Large, music, rap / hip hop, roots, large music, rap, hip hop roots, and cultural arts center, and arts ground of New York area, uh, biggest Brooklyn moments. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Biggest moment. Biggest. Anything else? Biggest Brooklyn monuments? Let's do monuments. Let's see what cool buildings, monuments, and buildings there are. Okay. One World Trade Center, Massacre Garden. Give me the images, baby. Okay. Tourist BIG. Actually, just give me like, yeah, photos of Brooklyn, baby. Mm-hmm. Let's figure out. I mean, this has got to be like a major bridge, right? Brooklyn Bridge or something. Brooklyn Bridge. Let's see what it says. I mean, that is it. Brooklyn Bridge, the story of New York City landmark. Can I go to this? Okay. Brooklyn Bridge, constructed between 1870 and 1883, is perhaps the most storied and most famous bridge in the world, with a main span of 1,600 feet. It was the longest ascension bridge in the world from its opening until 1903. First steel wall suspension bridge ever built. That's pretty dope. It means it's a stop for all New York City sightseers who stroll through its pedestrian path. That's a pretty cool part about it. Civic Center and the charming residential enclave of Brooklyn Heights. The Brooklyn Bridge changed New York forever when it was built and remains essential transport link today. But whose idea was it, and how did it get built? Oops. Let's go like this. Let's add that to the dock. Let's add that picture to the dock too. Da da. What was I doing? The bridge. The bridge. Da, da. Perfect. Okay. Architect, Prussia. Though he had humble beginnings, keen intelligent, sent him to Berlin for architecture and engineering with his brother Karl. Founded a farming community. Nice, good for them. Oh, I guess maybe not, because after it failed, turned back to engineering. There are a few bridges over major rivers. Goods were floated across on barges. People rode ferries. Wire rope strong enough to support bridge railways, and was hired to produce a number of river crossings. And then he did that for a while. Achieved a negotiation with the city and state. The East River Bridge was approved. Fully 14 years of construction commenced. Died from a tetanus-infected wound at a pier accident that year at the age of 63. His son Washington worked from voluminous notes his father had produced, completed the project. So, pluses for taking lots of notes and not letting your knowledge die with you. Negatives for infected accidents. and infections. Down in the riverbed, man breathed compressed air, dug the foundation. Ultimately anchored to the bedrock. It was dangerous work. From 5 years, the tower foundation and the tower themselves were complete. The most difficult work was just beginning, as hundreds of miles of steel cables, trying to support. After the last cable was positioned in 1878, a taxpayer lawsuit charging that the bridge was unsound threatened the entire project. Haters gonna hate. The case dragged on for several months, and Washington agreed to the addition of stiffening truces. Oh, compromise. The last element, the roadway, was finally built from the foundation of the towers, supported by the cables, and the bridge opened to traffic on May 24th, 1883. You can walk it. It's pretty. First and only box is the first major bridge. For many years, also the only major NYC bridge featuring diagonal suspension cables, though in recent years. Okay. Graffiti. Check for safety. Cool. And then Brooklyn Heights, which is an area that bridge leads to. An understated grandeur. Location. It's not helpful, is it? It's right. It's gotta be like right here, right? Astoria. These are just like areas nearby. Maybe it's just like downtown area. Heights Cafe. Beautiful boardwalk. Food and drink. Makes me want dessert. Some areas around Brooklyn, Manhattan. Cool. Bridge, culture, economy, history. There's influential people. Navy Yard. Doug's Diner. Yada yada. Okay, I think sufficiently did what I came here to determine, which was a Brooklyn deep dive. We have done it. I now feel like I better understand Brooklyn's history and culture from afar without having. I was only in like New York, New Jersey for like. I visited for like a week and a half. So, I mean, without being able to experience it closer, I think we did a good dive into important aspects. What if you just put in Brooklyn? What comes up as clubs and teams? Brooklyn Bridge Park. There's a movie. And I don't think there's anything big I missed here on this Wikipedia page. It's the 112 zip code. That's funny. It's only 3 digits. And we figured out this. Part of my what district does AOC represent? I was wrong, I think. Represents one of the essentially 50 people across parts of the Bronx and Queens. It's Bronx and Queens that AOC represents. Sections of Astoria, College Point. Okay. Does it have a map? Or this one probably has a map. Okay. Okay, so Brooklyn's more down here. And the Bronx and Queens is up here. Which part is which? Well, I don't have a hoodie yet that says Queens or a hoodie yet that says the Bronx. So we're going to leave our little deep dive there. I can now answer questions about Brooklyn as I wear my hoodie I got from Goodwill, which is a self-imposed rule I added when the last time I was like wearing this. But now I can wear this comfy hoodie on comfy days. And I'm out of here. Thanks for watching, I guess. Yeah, I'm just kind of playing with things. Ciao.